While one Pike County child battles cancer, the community comes together with faith and fundraising to show his family they're not fighting alone.
Intimidation of a sports official could be a new law if it passes the Kentucky General Assembly.
And clouds will move back in along with a few more rain chances to end out the work week. I'll have those details right now at 5:30.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley.
And I'm Madison Pergram.
When Pike County Head Start student Cooper Coleman was diagnosed with a brain tumor last month, his family and loved ones say it came as a shock.
As Cooper continues to fight for his health, several fundraisers are popping up to help his family as treatment continues.
WYMT's Buddy Forbes spoke to fundraiser organizers who say everyone feels helpless and they just had to do something.
Just a normal 5-year-old boy with friends who live in a world of superheroes and fantasy.
Grant comes home and they talk about things that they've done, places that they have imagined that they're going to on the playground. And so when I heard Cooper was sick, it really hit home because he comes home with us.
But what do you do when the fantasy crumbles and reality sets in?
When's Cooper coming back? Is Cooper still in the hospital? And even my son, he's asking, these hard questions and we can't answer.
Cooper Coleman was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer after having a tumor removed from his brain last month. He is in Cincinnati for treatment, but he is not fighting alone. His Super Cooper troopers are with him.
I know that God is at the front of this battle for Cooper.
Which is why Millard School Beta Club and Fellowship of Christian Athletes worked together to create a shirt representing two of Cooper's favorite heroes, the Ninja Turtles and Jesus.
I can remember at times seeing Cooper raise his little hand and praise Jesus just with everybody else.
Cooper's church family also created a superhero-themed shirt, raising money as they plan a prayer rally in his honor.
It ripped our hearts out, all of us were broken. And we are, but we're just trying to focus on, our God is bigger than any diagnosis.
They hope to have a large community outpouring as they fill the Pikeville Park with prayer and worship.
We just want them to know that they're not alone and we're going to do everything we can for them.
Praying hard enough for his family to feel it by his bedside. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, T-shirts can be ordered from Pikeville Free Will Baptist Church and Millard School. The prayer rally is on the books for April 10th. Organizers say they are still looking for singing groups and other volunteers.
And we started the day out with some sunshine, but those clouds, well, they've been increasing throughout the day, and we'll see those gloomy skies return once again. We're going to take you up, though, to the National Weather Service camera over into Jackson. Gorgeous sunshine, and there's those high clouds increasing on and off throughout the day. We've kind of seen that sunshine on and off as well, but now we're starting to see that thicker cloud cover move into the area. Stonecrest looking very gloomy up there into Prestonsburg, but at least we are still on the warmer side. We're still into about the lower 60s for a lot of us, some of us in the upper 50s down into Harlan and over into Somerset and even up into parts of Moorhead. Now we'll continue the warmer temperatures tomorrow, but it looks like we could see more clouds and maybe a few more rain chances, looking at very stray chances up into parts of the northern part of our area just south of Moorhead and over into parts of West Virginia. So heading into the next couple of days, yep, those clouds are turned tomorrow. Still warm, mostly dry. Could see a few snowflakes Friday and looking at some colder temperatures, but sunshine returns very quickly for the weekend along with those warmer temperatures. I'll have more on that coming up in a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. The cleanup of central Tennessee continues just days after tornadoes ripped through the community.
This is one of the worst tornado outbreaks in recent memory, with at least 25 people dead and a couple dozen more missing. 5 victims in Putnam County, one of the heavily affected areas, were under 13 years old. Volunteers continue to help clear the debris the storm left behind. Nashville Mayor John Cooper applauds the recovery effort from the community.
What an incredible community we have. Now we're in the transition from yesterday's emergency to recovery. The next phase will be rebuilding.
President Trump plans to visit the impacted areas on Friday. And state lawmakers advanced a bill that would make it a crime to intimidate or make threats to sports officials.
That's House Bill 65, and it comes in the wake of violence against referees at sporting events.
WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on the abuse one official received that was part of the inspiration behind the bill.
I never thought I'd see the day when a coach would assault an official, but it happened to me.
Refereeing a basketball game when Kenny Culp says a coach sucker punched him from behind.
Brain bleed, a broken collarbone, and a fractured sinus cavity.
The suspect in that case is in jail, but some say something needs to be done to head off more violence before it happens.
Parents are more aggressive than they've ever been. A lot of times they are pinning cars. They'll go where the officials' car are and take trucks and other things to pin people in where they can't leave.
House Bill 65 would create a crime of intimidation of a sports official.
You can still argue with an official over a call, but you take it past that and you follow them to the car. We've had people come and beat on the locker room doors.
It sets up a new Class A misdemeanor, and it cleared a House panel, but some feared that it goes too far.
This seems to punish quite a bit more than just physical assaults or even threatening. It seems like even if you harm the business interests of someone, that you could be punished criminally.
The vote advanced with 12 yes votes and now goes to the House floor.
I mean, it's got to be something put out there to let everybody know what's going on before they do something.
In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
If passed, the bill would affect every level of sport that is officiated in Kentucky.
Billionaire Michael Bloomberg suspends his campaign for the Democratic nomination for president. Now, after poor Super Tuesday results, Bloomberg dropped out of the race earlier today. Bloomberg had spent $500 million on his campaign prior to exiting the race. Immediately following the announcement, the billionaire endorsed former Vice President Joe Biden. Bloomberg says Biden gives the Democrats the best chance to defeat President Trump in the general election.
I've always believed that defeating Donald Trump starts with uniting behind the candidate with the best shot to do it. That candidate is my friend and a great American, Joe Biden.
Biden made huge strides yesterday, winning 9 states during the important Super Tuesday races and currently leads in the delegate count. And today, the U.S. Supreme Court heard a major case regarding abortion.
This is the first abortion case to reach the Supreme Court since President Trump appointed Justice Brett Kavanaugh back in 2018. The justices listened to arguments about a Louisiana law that increased regulations on abortion clinics in the state. The law up for debate concerns whether or not doctors are required to disclose privileges to nearby hospitals. Center for Reproductive Rights Representative Nancy Noble says it is unacceptable that certain states infringe on a woman's right to an abortion.
It is alarming and it is unacceptable that in the year of 2020, there are still states that are hell-bent on preventing women from getting access to reproductive health care.
Proponents of the law say these laws are needed to protect women's health care. The grandmother of missing 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell is in search of a lawyer. 42-year-old Angela Boswell was in court today to face felony theft charges. She told the Sullivan County, Tennessee judge she was having trouble finding legal representation. Boswell said that's because of the stigma surrounding the case. Her granddaughter Evelyn has not been seen since December, but authorities say she was not reported missing until February. Her mother was arrested last week for giving investigators false reports. The grandmother was arrested related to a stolen vehicle she and her boyfriend were driving. Angela Boswell remains free on bond but will return to court March 24th. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, amid fears of the coronavirus, how do we protect our most vulnerable? We'll go to one assisted living facility to see how they are preparing.
Looking at a pretty mild night here in the mountains, upper 30s with clouds increasing, but cold air is on the way. I'll tell you when to expect that coming up.